Alright, so I'm a little bit skeptical of this can of LaCroix because my sister knocked it over before I opened it. So I kind of don't want to open it over my computer. So we've got our LaCroix. It is time to react to some 40-gallon turtle tanks. What is up, guys? It is the Turtle Girl. Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. Today we're reacting to some 40-gallon turtle tanks as inspiration if you're setting up a tank or if you just like to see me react and critique to some of these setups. First up, we're starting off with a viewer from California. This is Taylor's musk turtle tank. First off, this is a beautiful tank. I love how natural it looks, even without the presence of live plants. Like, it looks like everything that you used here was actually fake plants, but it comes together very nicely. Your turtle has lots of places to hide. The basking area on the right looks like it was potentially DIY'd. I love the use of the pebbles, and because this is in an aquarium, it gives a different kind of texture to have that big stack of rocks on the right. And I love what you did with the little wood poles to go up to the basking area. It just looks like very natural. I get like professional landscape vibes from this. I don't know why, it's kind of just what I'm feeling. So I really appreciate this tank. This is awesome. Thanks for sharing, Taylor. Next up is a tank from Nico in the Philippines. Shout out to all of my Filipinos out there. Y'all know Filipina right here. So first off, this just looks like a beautiful show tank. It's rimless, so you don't have a big black rim on the top, so it looks that much more clean and well put together, and I am obsessed with your basking area. I don't know how you did it, but it's like this tree stretching up towards the top, and it's this giant driftwood platform in the middle of the tank, and then the turtle has plenty of space to swim around. So this is actually home to a diamondback terrapin. Perhaps on the outer edges, you could bring in some more decorations, maybe some wood or some rocks in those first two corners. It looks like you also have a school of platies or mollies or some kind of live bearer there. And again, this is using fake plants, so none of this has to be, you know, maintained per se to keep it alive. I can see the intentionality here. This is a beautiful tank. Nice work. This next one is an African cichlid and red-eared slider tank from Ben in Utah. There are two 3-inch red-eared sliders here and a really spacious above tank basking areas. Like I've said in previous videos, I love this style of basking area, especially for larger turtles. I think it works really well and provides a nice viewing space. And then the cichlids in here are absolutely beautiful. So it's interesting because you actually sent me 2 iterations of this tank. You formerly had some white sand, but then you switched to black sand. So if any of you are wondering what that black sand looks like, this is a great example. We've got lots of fun structures for your turtles to explore, for the cichlids to explore, and I really enjoy this setup, so thank you for sharing, Ben. This tank is home to Bowser the painted turtle and Maurice the bamboo shrimp, and this tank is sent in from Emmeline in Ontario, Canada. First off, just gotta say, I love the creativity with the basking area. You said you made it out of a shower shelf thing and a dish drying rack, so I think that's very creative. Honestly, if you go to the dollar store, you can find things to put together a basking area for your turtle and save money. So this is a great example of that. As long as it's sturdy enough to support the turtle and the turtle can get completely dry, that's basically the only requirements that a basking area needs to fulfill. It would be cool to see you put maybe some driftwood or something of the sort in this tank. You do have a couple rock structures, which is cool, but just filling in that space a little bit more. It's kind of like my slogan. In fact, like, I should just get a t-shirt or something that says you need more decorations. In fact, I've been thinking about doing merch, so maybe we'll do that this summer. Let me know in the comments what you think about that idea, if you would cop the merch. But with all that aside, this is a great little setup. You've got all your necessities covered, so great job. Here's another musk turtle tank from Kobe in California, and I just gotta say, I love the live plants in this tank. I love that piece of driftwood in the middle. I have to ask, is that real? Because it looks like it's probably fake, but the shape of it is just really nice. Resin decorations can be a great option to go for if you can't search for your own decorations, and sometimes they have better proportions than the stuff that you'll find out in the wild, because with the wild it's always, you know, hit or miss. It's literally nature. It's gonna be all natural, and your tank might end up looking like mine. And that's like saying that my tank doesn't look that great. But it looks like you have some pothos in here as well as some moss balls, and you got your basking area in the back. Lots of spaces for your turtle to swim around. It's also shallower so that your musk can swim to the surface. So it's great that your turtle will have an easy time swimming in this tank. I also like the use of terracotta pots in aquariums. I don't see it done all that frequently, but I think they can make really great natural decorations, and there's something just about the look of a terracotta pot in an aquarium that I just love. I actually have some terracotta pots in my axolotl tank, and I think they're really cool. So that's another idea for decorating your turtle tank, and it can be a nice little addition. So thanks for sharing. This next tank is from Michael in California, home to a red-eared slider named Toby. And the first thing I notice here is the lighting. It's very intriguing because you kind of have a blue tone on the right-hand side and then the daylight over the basking area. I will say I'm not sure how that would affect a turtle's photo period and how they perceive day and night. So that might be something you want to do research into. I personally would prefer just using daylight bulbs, just because that makes sure that your turtle knows, oh, it's daytime and nighttime. It's the most natural thing for them. I love what you've done with the basking area. It's like this little tree trunk that nestles into the corner, and then you've surrounded it with plants. And then on the right side of the tank, it's more empty so that Toby has space to swim. I actually don't think you really need to add more decorations to this tank just because you want to give Toby the most amount of space to swim. He looks like a pretty big turtle in this picture, so he might want some more space to swim. In fact, if possible, it would be great if you could raise the water level to maximize the water volume that Toby can swim in. This next one is from Alan in Connecticut. I'm just kidding. No one says Connecticut, it's Connecticut. So this tank is for a southern painted named Bubbles. As you can see, great job with the overfiltration. We've got 2 hang-on tank filters running on this. And then you've got an egg crate basking area. That's something I still have to actually do with this tank, is put some egg crate to make sure Hoku can't escape. I don't know, oh, you can see Hoku cruising along back there. The scape here is really fun. It's pretty simple, I would say, but you have the sand mixed with those little pebbles, so it's like a little pathway leading into that little hut. It's very, very cute. I love what you've done with it. You've also got some tiger barbs in here. I hope that those are doing well for you. That's a fish species I'm hoping to try sometime here in the near future. The only thing I would add here is a light to the aquarium portion of the tank. You could just rest it over the egg crate or something, a little LED strip light or something of the sort, because I think it would really enhance the look of this aquarium. Something I see with a lot of turtle tanks is people light the basking area, which is great. That is super duper important, but it's also important to light the aquarium so that you enjoy looking at it. And that also helps with the turtle's photo period and knowing day from night. This tank has a soft shell and a river turtle, and it's from Lewis in Texas. All the plants in here are live. I think you've done a very interesting job with this scape, so I really like what you've done with this, especially with those pieces of wood kind of extending out from the corner. You said these are all live plants, which is applause to you, especially with a cooter. I've heard that cooters can be more herbivorous. Herbivorous. I think it's herbivorous. I remember I made a mistake in one of my other videos. I said herbivorous.
Herbivorous.
That's definitely not it. Herbivorous?
Herbivorous.
It's not herbivorous. I've never said herbivorous. That's what Google says. I've always said herbivorous or herbivorous. I didn't know where the emphasis was. I feel like my whole life is a lie. In any case, I've heard that cooters are more
herbivorous,
that word, than most other turtles, but you said you replace the live plants so they get munched on, so kudos to you for that. You've got sand for the soft shell to bury under. Now, as I'm sure you know, your cooter is likely going to get a lot bigger, so an upgrade will be down the line in the future. But for right now, this is a lovely little setup, and I really enjoy what you've done with the scape here, so thanks for sharing. This next tank comes all the way from Athens, Greece, and it's from Costas, home to Leonardo, the red-eared slider. You mentioned that you don't have too much stuff in this tank because Leonardo makes a mess of everything, but I just wanted to mention that I really love the background on this tank. Again, anything that adds texture, even if it's just a stick-on background, adds more interest, adds more depth to the aquarium. You've got your above tank basking area, which is great. What's interesting is this little platform that's actually in the water. I wonder if the tanks are actually made like that, perhaps? You also mentioned you're looking for a 300-liter tank to upgrade from this, so I'm really happy to hear that. And consider, you know, you need #more decor. My sister's cringing at me. I don't care. #more decor. Say it in the comments. But consider adding perhaps some rocks or wood. Even if the turtle does push it around, at least it's something to interact with. So that's something to think about. This next tank is from Austin in Texas. Austin, I'm sure you get this a lot, but your name is the capital of Texas, right? Austin is the capital of Texas? It's not Dallas, right? Austin is the capital. I'm like 90% sure. Let me double check. Hey Siri, what's the capital of Texas?
Austin is the capital of Texas.
Yes, I feel so smart. Anyway, moving on. I may have actually shown this tank in a previous video, but we're including it again because I think it looks really nice. So at this point, this tank probably has a turtle, but at the time that you sent this in, it didn't have a turtle, but you're hoping to put a Hatchling Eastern painted turtle in here. I love this setup. Again, the white sand, the live plants, the double basking area. It looks like you've got one of those Repto filters on the side. Someone actually made a really good comment about Repto filters because they do just have that giant cavity. You can actually put your own filter media in there. So that's something to think about. You've got some really nice structures inside this tank, some driftwood reaching up, some live plants, and I hope your new hatchling turtle loves this tank almost as much as I love this tank, and good luck with those neon tetras. Hopefully they survive for you. I'd imagine that baby turtles are a little bit more clumsy, and maybe if you start them young, they'd be less likely to eat them. So, good luck to that. All right, here we go. This is the speed run. We're gonna just go through a bunch of tanks pretty much as quickly as possible. All right, here we go. First one is from Braden in Ottawa, Canada, home to a red-eared slider. It looks like the pebbles are big enough so your turtle won't eat it, so +1 there. You've also got 2 filters, and it looks like that internal filter would be great for circulation. You could add some more decorations, perhaps some fake plants, and I think that would really look great in this tank. This one is home to Michael from Texas. It's not home to... Gosh. The speed round is failing. This one is home to a red-eared slider that belongs to Michael in Texas. I love the skeleton in here. I get very much Jurassic Park vibes from here, especially with the plants kind of draping over the top. You've got a very nice egg crate above tank basking area that's decked out with some plants, so 2 thumbs up over here. This one's from Krista in Washington, home to Floki, the 3-stripe mud. It's actually a rescue, so good on you for taking in this turtle and giving it a home. You said you're planning to switch to sand, so it's great to hear that. You've got your basking area on the left-hand side. Basically all your bases covered. Mud turtles are not particularly good swimmers, so I'd say the water level is fine where it is. Perhaps some more plants or cover would be beneficial, especially if you find that he's hiding a lot. You could also illuminate some of the main area of the tank itself, and I think that would look great. Here's a tank from Kevin in Connecticut. We've got another Connecticut here. Had to include it because of Baby Groot. And also, I think the PVC pipes are great. Those are probably more for your African cichlids, more so than the turtle. Just make sure that the turtle can't get stuck. But overall, a really fun setup. If you had some more decorations that reached kind of higher, that would be really cool. But what I think is cool about this setup is that piece of driftwood on the left-hand side. It actually has a suction cup on it, so you can stick it to the side, and your turtle is actually resting up there. It looks to be pretty small. So this tank will last him for a while as he gets bigger. This one is from Kalita in Canada, and when I first saw it, I was thinking, oh my gosh, that's definitely not enough water. But then I saw the size of your turtle. It's a hatchling red-eared slider. So I'd say that this water level is reasonable, but definitely as it gets bigger, increase that water level so your turtle can have more swimming space. I think the addition of some fake plants in here would be really nice. This tank is from Chad, home to a yellow-bellied slider. You've got an above tank basking area made out of egg crate, which is great. I will say you could fill in the space with some more decorations, perhaps some rocks, wood, things of that sort. It looks like you're also dealing perhaps with some green water. Something that might help with that is cutting down on the amount of time the light is on, or doing some more water changes to take out some of those nutrients. Here's another yellow belly tank from Jonathan, and this is another pretty typical setup. You got your above tank basking area. I like that you have illumination over the tank as well, so good job with that. It's great to see that the tank is filled all the way up, maximizing the swimming space. Love the sand. You could have more decorations in here though. This is Nate's tank that's home to a painted turtle. Looks pretty similar to the last one actually. One thing you could do is add some illumination over the tank itself. Good job with the filtration. You're running a canister filter. Also, I love the dinosaur art on your wall. This is a red-eared slider tank from Ernesto in New Mexico. Beautiful above tank basking area. You've even managed to find a way to make that little platform that extends from the bottom. That's really neat. I also really like the random assortment of rocks. It looks very natural, kind of like they just tumbled all over each other. Watch out for that gravel though. Of course, there is the potential for impaction, so just keep an eye on that. This one is from Shamara in Florida, home to a hatchling red-eared slider. Obviously, as the turtle gets bigger, watch out for that gravel because the turtle might be able to eat it, and increase the water volume so they can swim. You're definitely off to a good start though. Like, this is nice and shallow, and as your turtle grows, it'll be able to use this tank. And then we have this tank from Lucian, home to a red-eared slider. You got the basking area. For some reason, it looks kind of tilted, so just make sure that your turtle's able to get up there nicely. River pebbles on the bottom, looks great. On that right side, you probably could fill it in more depending on the size of your turtle. One thing I do want to mention here is make sure that heat and UVB bulbs are both over the same spot so the turtle is getting both of them at the same time. Also, I love your tablecloth. So I think I've thoroughly embarrassed myself with herbivorous animals and looking at some of your turtle tanks. This is always so much fun for me to see what you guys come up with your tanks and what you're sending in. There's some really fantastic ones, and this is just such a fun series. So if you want to see me keep doing it, hit that thumbs up button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all next Friday. Have a totally awesome day. Bye! So we've got our LaCroix. It's time to react. Oh God. The carbonation is so strong. My sister's looking over at me like I'm stupid. It's probably true.
Herbivorous.
I feel so stupid. Okay. You know, I used to know all of the states and capitals. Olympia, Washington, Boise, Idaho, Helena, Montana, Sacramento, California, Portland, Oregon, Salem, Oregon. Okay. We're gonna stop there.